Okay, so I was talking about domestic violence, women and men, but there's another thing that needs to be addressed. So I was talking about how there's thousands of women in domestic violence situations that have dealt with domestic violence, okay? And the men. But what America doesn't talk about is that there are thousands of men that are abused by women. Yes, there are some women who abuse men. I've literally called several places the past couple weeks, by the way, for my own projects, for my own research. And this is what happened. I called several centers the past couple weeks and asked them if they had a domestic violence group for men. And they said no. No. And I even questioned the lady on the phone and said, really, that's interesting. I said, don't you think that there should be for men? I at least, on one of the times, I at least brought it up and said, there isn't for men. Is there one for men, not just women? The problem with our communities in America is that there are no resources for men. There's no groups in a lot of cities, like my city. There's a lot of cities that do not have groups for men to talk about their abusive situations with the women in their life. I find that a problem. Men need help and deserve help. They're forced to be silent. They're forced to be muted. A lot of men aren't believed when they say that they're abused or neglected by a woman. I am very highly aware that not just women, I'm one of the women that exist in this world that will say this when a lot of women will not say this. I am highly aware that there are men that are abused. There are men that are neglected. There are men that are not believed. That there are men that don't get the help that they deserve and that they need to deal with their violent behavior, violent thoughts, violent words. That men need help too, not just women, not just the victims. And men and women need help. Not just women, not just men, it's both. Society's not helping both. And the biggest issue is a lot of people don't think that they need help. And so they never go to therapy in their entire life. They don't go to therapy. There's so many people that have never been to therapy because they refuse to admit to their own selves that they need help. They don't have to tell their friends or family that they're going to therapy. Thousands of people go to therapy and they don't tell their friends and family that they go to therapy. I went to many therapists in my lifetime. I never told family and friends I was going to therapy. I did it on my own because I wanted to, because I needed to. It was nobody's business. Nobody asked and I never told anybody. But many years I went to therapy. I went to different therapists for different reasons. But I never told anybody. One, nobody asked me. Two, I just never thought about it. Didn't even cross my mind to. Because in a way, it's nobody's business also. So, plenty of people could be getting the help that they need and that they deserve, but they refuse to even admit to themselves that they need help. Or that, how come it never crosses some people's minds that they want help? So, there's literally thousands of you that don't even want help for your relationship. That seems strange. Because thousands of people do on their own go to therapy to get help for their different relationships in their life. Or dealing with grief, or trauma of any kind, or grief of loss of a loved one. Plenty of people go on their own, then there's plenty of people that can't even admit to themselves that they need help or want help. And the problem is, people just don't think about it sometimes. Some people, it just doesn't cross their mind that there is help. But there is help. And the other thing that's helpful is that there's articles online. There's books online. There's books at bookstores. There's books at libraries. There's books at your friends' houses, your family members' houses. And there's people that won't even pick up a book to help themselves. If you're not going to go to therapy, can you at least read a book or watch a movie about different help? But many people don't even pick up a book. They don't even read an article. They won't even watch a movie. They will do zero self-help. But then there's other people that will do everything. They will go to lengths to get all the help that they want. There are people that go to therapy. There are people that read the books, read the articles, watch the movies, do all the self-help educational things. And they get no credit. None. And people walk all over them and treat them like garbage. People get treated like garbage who have sought self-help for years and years. And then there are people who refuse to do self-help, refuse to self-educate. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to spend money on therapists. If you don't have insurance or the money, you could read books, watch films, read articles, but people don't even do that. They don't even do what's free and easily accessible. They're too busy pleasuring themselves with the various methods of self-pleasure. There's so many methods of self-pleasure that people are seeking pleasure 24/7 and refuse to self-educate. The resources are out there in many different ways. So if you can't get it in one way, educate yourself in a different way. And if the groups don't exist, then create one and start one. People, there is power in endurance. A lot of people are drowning in despair. A lot of people are drowning in suicidal thoughts. A lot of people drown in hopelessness because they don't get the help they need and they deserve. But you're a creator and you can create what doesn't exist. Or seek out the other resources that exist. A lot of resources don't exist, but there are resources that do exist. If not, create it. Create it. And a lot of people, that's why we have a lot of different resources out there, is because people have taken it upon themselves to create. We are meant to be creators. God is a scientist, and we are all scientists. We are creators. We are all capable of being creators. It is horrible how some people are forced to drown in despair, drown in hopelessness. It is horrible that some people are forced to feel suicidal. It is horrible that people feel so alone sometimes. Endurance. Endurance.